Firstly, Mike, let me congratulate you on your induction into the IP Hall of Fame. How does it feel to be recognised this way?
Well, thank you very much for that. I'm very honored, and I'm particularly honored because of the names of some of the individuals who have gone before.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at Bob von Bentham, Arpad Bosch, Chief Judge Markey, and others, it's very humbling to be included in that same crowd, and I'm extremely honored to join them.
Thank you. It's been announced that David Kappos is to be nominated as the new Director of the USPTO. In your opinion, what should the incoming Director prioritise, and what do you consider to be the biggest challenge he'll face?
I think he should prioritize getting the pending backlog brought under control, at the same time focusing on the highest possible quality of issuing patents. I think getting the operation itself back into a good functioning order is his highest priority. And I think that he is well suited to do that. I have spoken with Dave since his nomination was announced, and I am sure that he views getting the PTO back on a solid footing as his #1 goal. And I think he will have an outreach to the user community, to the stakeholders, that will bring them into the process, something that I think has been lacking in recent years. So I am very excited and pleased to see him taking this position.
And what do you think will be the biggest challenge that will face him in this position?
Initially, I think resources. With the filing levels dropping, with the number of patents that are granted at an almost all-time low, less than 50% by some counts, and I'm not sure that I trust totally those counts, but the fact is that he needs revenue to deal with the problems that he has. And I think it's going to be difficult in this particular environment when we're hopefully coming out of a recession, when tax revenues are down, when the President has a number of new programs and initiatives that are going to strain the federal budget. For Dave to be able to get the resources he needs from Congress is going to be a tremendous challenge. I mean, there are myriad other issues that he'll have to deal with. Union issues, IT issues, dealing with other demands on his time, but I think that bringing the PTO back into a properly functioning, rapid, high-quality issuance process has to be his #1 goal.
Okay, thank you. And moving on to patent reform. What do you think of the patent reform process in the US, and how close do you think we are to getting legislation onto the statute books?
Well, I don't think it really matters what I think of the patent reform process. It is the process we have. In terms of how close we are, that I think is still an open question. The Senate Judiciary Committee passed what, in my opinion, is a very viable compromise proposal that I think addresses the needs of all the diverse stakeholders. It's not perfect from any one standpoint, but I think it's a viable vehicle. The question is whether or not there can be support for moving that reported bill to the Senate floor for passage, and if it does pass the Senate, which I think it would if it gets to the floor, whether it could then be taken up by the House and passed without significant change. I think S515, as reported by the Judiciary Committee, is the vehicle that we should go forward with. I'm just uncertain at this point as to how quickly that can happen.
Okay. And going back to your IP Hall of Fame induction, who would you consider to be your own IP heroes?
I can't name a single person.
Okay.
There has to be several. I go back to a time when I worked with Pat Federico, who was acclaimed to be one of the drafters of the 1952 Patent Act, a man I greatly admired. I worked with former Patent Commissioner Jerry Mossinghoff, both at NASA and when he was Commissioner at the USPTO. I had some dealings with Judge Rich, who again is another outstanding person, not to mention individuals from around the world, people like Heinz Bardella and Arpad Bosch and others. So, I mean, it's difficult for me to give you one hero.
Okay, well, Mike Kirk, thank you very much.
You're welcome.